Right now, a Saturday full of showers ahead for south central Wisconsin as the Badgers get ready to storm the field at Camp Randall. We're tracking your game day forecast. And it's a race against time for marinas along the Rock River as employees rush to save boats, docks, and lifts from being destroyed or washed downstream as water levels across the area continue to rise.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. Happy Saturday. Thanks for starting your day with us here on News 3 Now. It's Saturday, October 5th. I'm Christina Laurie. Meteorologist Gary Canalti, a treat to see you this morning.
Well, my vacation starts in about 59 minutes, so.
But who's counting?
Who's counting, right? Well, first we have to get past some showers today. In fact, as we take a look at Doppler track across southern Wisconsin. Right now, it's pretty rainy out to the west of us. First couple of batches of showers have been weakening as they push through the Madison area because the air is a little bit drier here, but there's more concentrated areas of rain and even some thunderstorms out to the west. Temperatures right now are in the upper 40s to the lower 50s. Madison has gotten up to 51 degrees. Look for off and on showers, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm. Temperatures climbing to about 58 later this afternoon. Again, possibility for a thunderstorm as well. So take a look at first alert traffic right now. There's the belt line at Park Street. Traffic moving pretty steadily in both directions. Still light. Got a little while before the Badger game. Beltline and the interstate in pretty good shape, but now we're starting to see some backups and delays on Regent Street as well as Monroe Street and areas right around Camp Randall Stadium as the fans start to head for the field for today's football game. That's your News 3 Now First Alert traffic.
That's pretty expected on game day.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse from here.
And you teased your vacation. Where are you going?
London, Normandy, and Paris. I'll leave Monday
Oh,
next
wow.
week. So
I am jealous. We'll have to talk more about that later.
All right.
But for now, thank you, Gary.
Sure.
Well, just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, overnight flooding threats continue across our viewing area with more rain on the way. People down in Rock County are worried their situation could get even worse. Employees at the Rock River Marina say they've been using a barge to pull out boats, docks, and lifts from the rising waters of the Rock River since the rain started all the way back on Tuesday night. This is the second straight year flooding is happening in that community, but it doesn't make things any easier.
You're sitting there just scrambling to get people out to save their boats. And I went out yesterday myself on a boat and got 3 of them that were floating out in the middle of the lake.
Right now, the Rock River is measuring at 9.1 feet. That's just above the 9-foot flood stage. Today's rainfall is expected to create a week full of problems. The river is expected to crest next Friday at more than 10 feet. Darlington's Main Street Bridge is now completely reopened after it was closed for the last few days due to flooding and high river levels on the Pecatonica. The bridge was initially going to reopen at midnight tonight, but it was reopened early as the water receded quicker than expected. As of this morning, Police Chief Jason King says there is still a little bit of water in that area, so anyone taking the bridge should drive slowly. The city of Fitchburg says the roundabout at Fitch-Rona and Nesbitt roads is back open, but a nearby area is closed due to flooding. Fitch-Rona Road between Lacey Road and Nesbitt Road is closed because there's water under the Highway 151 bridge. City staff is monitoring the area and says they'll reopen it as soon as it is safe. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office is reaching out to the public this weekend asking for help in a homicide investigation. 35-year-old Keith Wolf was killed 1 week ago in the township of Leeds. His wife says he was checking out a noise they heard in the basement when he was shot and killed. Now investigators are asking to speak with anyone who had contact with Wolf in the weeks leading up to his death. Police believe Wolf was targeted and say there is no evidence to suggest this was a random attack. Middleton police are hoping to breathe new life into a case more than 2 years old. This morning, they say they are continuing to investigate the disappearance of John Ballesteri, who was last seen on Maple Street in Middleton on the morning of September 15, 2017. He has not been seen or heard from since. His family is asking anyone with information in this case to contact police. A $1 million bond has been set for the man accused in a triple shooting at a Wausau cemetery Thursday. 64-year-old Henry West faces a tentative first-degree homicide charge and 2 counts of first-degree attempted homicide. A 52-year-old woman was killed in that shooting. 2 others are still in the hospital, one of them in critical condition. West was a former employee at the cemetery but hasn't worked there since 2012. He's expected to be formally charged later this month. Now to the latest on the race for 2020. Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is out of the hospital amid news that he suffered a heart attack earlier this week. His campaign confirmed that overnight, but good news for the Sanders campaign released just this morning shows the senator tops the list of candidates who've raised the most money during the third quarter. Sanders took in more than $25 million, followed by Elizabeth Warren with $24.5 million. Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden round out the top 4. So how is this expected to translate among voters? According to the latest Monmouth University poll, Warren is polling at 28%, while Biden has slipped to second. Sanders is now in third. A second intelligence official with more direct knowledge about President Donald Trump's dealings with Ukraine is now considering filing a whistleblower complaint, according to the New York Times. Meanwhile, House Democrats have issued a subpoena to the White House for documents related to Ukraine. This latest development comes after the 3 committees leading the impeachment inquiry separately sent letters seeking documents from Vice President Mike Pence as part of their investigation into President Trump and his conversation with the president of Ukraine. Democrats are demanding White House compliance with the subpoena within 2 weeks by Friday, October 18th, and say any refusal to turn over these documents will inform their impeachment efforts. American hiring is still strong amid signs the global economy is slowing down. The U.S. added 136,000 jobs in September. The unemployment rate was at 3.5%, nearly a 50-year low. The number of vaping-related deaths in the U.S. in the meantime has hit 21. Friday, Michigan and Pennsylvania both reported deaths from lung disease that could be tied to vaping. It's the first possible vaping-related death for both states. Health officials are warning residents to immediately stop vaping any illegally purchased products and use caution, even when using legal e-cigarettes. The 4-0, 8th-ranked Badgers are back at Camp Randall this morning as they get ready to take on Kent State. Kent State is planning to try everything they can to at least slow down Jonathan Taylor. But if Jack Cohn has to throw, he'll throw, according to head coach Paul Chris. His receivers have been quietly consistent through 4 games, and Chris thinks this group could be his best yet at Wisconsin.
I think it's got a chance to be, really good. Been around a lot of, I've appreciated the receivers that I've been with and here, and yet I think this group has a chance, and that's, something that at the end of the year we can talk about, right? You got to go do it, and you got to do it consistently, but I do like this group.
Kickoff is at 11 o'clock this morning. A reminder, the Badger Bash starts soon at 8:30. The number 1 ranked Wisconsin hockey team unveiled its national title banner overnight before they took on Penn State. The team quickly got up to a 3-0 start, and the team ended up winning 7-0. They're now off to a 3-0 start to the season. The Packers are on the road this weekend for a Sunday afternoon game against the Cowboys. Receiver Devontae Adams is out for the game, as well as running back Jamal Williams, who is out with a concussion. But Sunday's game will be a reunion for one of the Packers' most popular players. Number 18 is Randall Cobb, who played 8 productive seasons in Green Bay before becoming a free agent, signing with Dallas. This season, Cobb has 14 catches for the Cowboys and caught his first touchdown pass of the season with his new team against the Giants 2 weeks ago. Cobb is downplaying facing his former team, though.
What is this, week 5? Yeah, it's just week 5, man. Another game, another opportunity for us to go show what we're all about. When you come into the league, you really don't know what to expect. You kind of think of it as college, like, oh, I'll be here for a certain amount of time. And, as you get older, you realize that this league changes faces. It changes, players change, coaches change, things happen. It's a part of the business.
Kickoff in Dallas is tomorrow at 3:25. Today is your last chance to check out the World Dairy Expo at the Alliant Energy Center. The expo is a global meeting place for people in the dairy industry to network, research, and figure out the best strategies for their dairy operations. This year's event comes at a tough time for dairy farmers, though. More than 6% of all farms closed last year, including 700 here in Wisconsin. That's almost 2 a day. Kids and families are invited to attend, and farmers will have a variety of locally grown and made foods for sale. And then tomorrow morning, you can join the more than 800 people walking to end Alzheimer's. More than 160 teams have already signed up and raised $150,000 for this annual event. This year's goal is $240,000. That money will go towards research, which is becoming increasingly important. More than 50 million people around the world have dementia, and in the next 30 years, that number is expected to triple.
I think the biggest thing that's important to remember is that when people are diagnosed with Alzheimer's or another form of dementia, is it's not just memory. It often affects senses and things of that sort, judgment. And so really it's just being in their reality at the time and point where they are. It doesn't pay to correct them or do things of that sort. Just be with them in the state of mind that they're in.
Registration starts at 8:30 tomorrow morning, an emotional opening ceremony set for 10 a.m., followed by the walk at 10:15. October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month, and one Wisconsin woman is trying to show the world that people living with Down syndrome just want to be seen like anyone else. Danielle Tho is sharing her own accomplishments with us to change the way the world sees people who live with Down syndrome. Hear why Danielle is spreading a message that Down syndrome does not define her, she defines it. We'll have that for you ahead at 8:30. But for now, the time is 8:10, cool and cloudy with a chance of showers. Not an ideal forecast for football fans, players, or the vendors down at the farmers market. It's been a tough year for them, from brutal cold last winter to this week's latest round of flooding. Here's a live look over the Capitol. Your first alert forecast is just ahead.
Well, it's breezy and chilly out on the weather patio. We had a few sprinkles. The ground is wet, but not seeing any rain right now. However, the winds are starting to pick up with temperatures in the 50s. If you're going to the Badger game, probably want to bring a pretty good jacket and maybe a rain poncho, because as we take a look at the Badger football forecast, we're expecting off and on showers, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm toward the end of the game as temperatures start out in the lower 50s and get into the upper 50s by the time the game is over. On Doppler track, you can see showers moving through the Madison area. More concentrated areas of rain are out to the west where there are a few thunderstorms. Those will reach us later this afternoon. Computer model forecasts show about a half-inch of rain for today into this evening before it comes to an end. There could be a couple of isolated heavier amounts in areas that get a thunderstorm. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison showing cloudy skies. Our temperature right now 51 degrees. Winds are picking up. They're out of the southeast at 15 miles per hour, and the dew point temperature is starting to climb as the showers are moving in. Temperatures are mainly in the 40s to around 50 degrees through much of the upper Midwest. The upper level winds still from the southwest bringing that rain in, but it's also bringing a dry slot of air through the Nebraska and South Dakota area. That will be in here later on tonight and should bring sunshine for tomorrow and actually warmer temperatures up even a little bit, even though a cold front will come through, and that's what will put an end to the showers later on tonight, a wind shift over to the west. But still a pretty good area of rain and a couple of thunderstorms out ahead of that cold front. Temperatures are a little warmer out to the west, 50s and a few 60s into the southern portion of Nebraska, but eventually the air will dry out again once that cold front comes through later on tonight, and that drier air across the western Dakotas and western Nebraska will move in and clear out the skies for tomorrow. So look for some showers to develop this morning. Temperatures climbing to the lower 50s by lunchtime. This afternoon it'll be breezy and chilly with a high of 58 and showers, perhaps even an isolated thunderstorm. Tonight, though, the showers should end this evening. Then skies will turn partly cloudy overnight with a low of 46. And for tomorrow, look for a partly sunny, breezy day with a high of 61, so not quite as cool as today. On future track, you can see those showers and isolated thunderstorms rolling through this afternoon, highs in the upper 50s. The showers will end this evening. Skies will clear out by morning with lows in the middle 40s. Highs tomorrow will be in the lower 60s with partly sunny skies. Again, rainfall amounts probably around a half inch. 7 to 10 day forecast calls for dry weather Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We need all the dry weather we can get. Then some shower and thunderstorm chances late Thursday into Thursday night, ending in showers on Friday, and then very chilly for next weekend. Highs only in the upper 40s and lower 50s, and nighttime lows in the upper 30s. Could see some patchy frost at that time. Just a reminder that fall is slowly taking hold of southern Wisconsin.
Slowly but surely, those temperatures are dropping. Boy, it was cold out there this morning.
Yeah, and it'll be, like I say, this time next week at this time it'll be even chillier.
Okay, not the best news. Come back in, Gary.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Well, a reminder for anyone cleaning up after this week's strong storms. After storm damage, scammers could try to take advantage of you. The Better Business Bureau says to be aware of an out-of-town storm chaser who goes door to door. Getting references is also helpful. You should get everything in writing and do some research on the business you're hiring first. We have more tips up right now on channel3000.com and on our mobile app. Time now 8:17. Still ahead, some strange yet exciting news for Netflix watchers. The new take on a cartoon classic your whole family can enjoy. Plus, Will Loper shares his picks of what to watch this weekend. Trending news just ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
Well, time now is 8:21. Showers are out to the west of us. We've already had a few light showers come through the Madison area, but the more concentrated areas of rain will be arriving later on this morning and through this afternoon. Could even see a couple of isolated thunderstorms, but not seeing any flashes of lightning in those showers out to the west right now. Temperatures are in the upper 40s to the lower 50s. The winds picking up out of the southeast, so it'll also be kind of breezy. Look for temperatures to slowly climb into the upper 50s by about 4 p.m. and then temperatures will stay in the 50s through this evening when the showers will come to an end. Looks like a dry day for tomorrow with temperatures in the lower 60s. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Thank you so much, Gary. Taking a look at what is trending this morning. Big news from Netflix, Stranger Things coming back for season 4. This morning we're learning a favorite character may be returning too. Netflix announced the hit sci-fi series is back with this cryptic trailer. And now David Harbour, who plays the beloved chief of police who supposedly died back in season 3, has changed his Instagram profile picture, and it's causing fans to speculate. Now the picture is just an upside down fragmented image of something Harbour posted a few months back, but Stranger Things fans will hold on to anything they can get. No word yet on when season 4 will be available for streaming. Deadpool is coming to Netflix. Well, kind of, at least Ryan Reynolds is. He's taking on the role of action hero in his next movie, 6 Underground, where he leads a team of 6 people from around the world with special skills who've all been declared dead. Their mission, to take out the bad guys. 6 Underground launches on Netflix in December. And if you're trading in your Netflix subscription for the new Apple Plus streaming service, you can catch a classic. America's favorite beagle is headed to the cosmos. Snoopy and the Peanuts gang star in Apple TV's new animated series, Snoopy in Space. You can follow Snoopy as he becomes a NASA astronaut and visits the moon and the International Space Station. Apple TV Plus launches this November. With storms in the forecast this weekend, though, you're probably looking for something to watch after the Badgers game later today. Here's Will Loper's picks in this week's 3 Things to Watch.
Planning a trip?
Going to Europe. School trip.
New on home video this week is Spider-Man Far From Home.
I think MJ really likes me. That reminds me when I first fell in love.
You're a very difficult person to contact, Spider-Man.
Peter Parker just wants to go on vacation, but when evil elementals start attacking cities in Europe, it's up to Spider-Man to save the world.
You're right, you may not be ready, but this is my responsibility. Saving the world requires sacrifice. Sometimes people die.
Spider-Man Far From Home is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
How's Dion doing? I miss my little man. I'm telling you, Nicole, that kid is something special.
Newly streaming on Netflix this week is the series Raising Dion.
Mister! I've got your doll!
A single mother must juggle raising a boy while trying to figure out just where his superpowers came from.
Something is happening with Dion. We should figure out how to get it under control.
How long do you think you can keep this up? The government is tracking people who got superpowers.
All 9 episodes of Raising Dion are available to stream on Netflix now.
And you know what? Don't tell anyone yet, but you're looking at the new king of comedy.
This week, Joker releases in theaters, but check out the movie that the director said influenced it, 1982's The King of Comedy.
And yeah, I know. You look wonderful too, Jerry. I wasn't leaving you out. Right? Yeah.
Martin Scorsese directs Robert De Niro as sad sack Rupert Pupkin, who aspires to be a stand-up comedian and takes extreme measures to get there.
Why didn't you just listen to the tape when I asked you to? Was that so hard to do?
You're right, I'm wrong. I'm just a human being with all of the foibles, all of the traps, the
show, the pressure, the groupies, the autograph hounds, the crew, the incompetents.
The King of Comedy is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Lower it! Mom! I'm not gonna lower it. I have to do this now.
I don't mind you playing it, but lower it.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
From movies to music, it's tough to find an award Garth Brooks hasn't won, and come this spring, it's going to get even harder. The country music superstar will be honored with the Library of Congress's Gershwin Prize for Popular Song this March. At 57 years old, he's the youngest recipient of this prestigious prize. The library says Brooks was chosen because of the impact he's had on country music through musical achievements as well as his charity work. Previous honorees include Tony Bennett, Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, Carole King, and Billy Joel, just to name a few. Brooks will receive the award at a special concert in Washington, D.C. that will air on PBS this spring. There's much more news ahead on News 3 Now. Next, we're running through the morning's top stories, including the latest on the suspicious death investigation out of Columbia County, why the sheriff's department there is now turning to the public for help 1 week later. We'll be right back. Right now, we're introducing you to a Wisconsin woman who is going above and beyond to change the way the world sees people who live with Down syndrome.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, it's October 5th. I'm Christina Laurie, and for Keeley this morning, we'll get a check of your first alert forecast with Gary in just a second. But first, here are 3 things to know as you start your day. Flooding threats Continue across our viewing area this morning with more rain on the way. People down in Rock County are worried their situation could get even worse. Employees at the Rock River Marina say they've used a barge to pull boats, docks, and lifts from the rising waters of the Rock River since the rain started Tuesday night. Right now, the Rock River is measuring at 9.1 feet, just above the 9-foot flood stage. Today's rainfall is expected to create a week full of problems, though. The river is expected to crest next Friday at more than 10 feet. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office is reaching out to the public this weekend, asking for your help in a homicide investigation. 35-year-old Keith Wolf was killed 1 week ago in the township of Leeds. His wife says he was checking out a noise they heard in their basement when he was shot and killed. Now investigators are asking to speak with anyone who had contact with Wolf in the weeks leading up to his death. Police believe Wolf was targeted and say there is no evidence to suggest this was random. And the 4-0 8th-ranked Badgers are back at Camp Randall this morning as they get ready to take on Kent State. Kent State is planning to try everything they can to at least slow down Jonathan Taylor, but Jack Cohn has to throw. He'll throw, according to head coach Paul Christ. His receivers have been quietly consistent through 4 games, and Chris said overnight he thinks this group of players could be his best yet at Wisconsin. Kickoff is at 11 a.m. The Badger Bash just started at 8:30, and people there might need to pack a poncho. Here's meteorologist Gary Canalti in for Chris this morning.
I think that will come in handy. Right now, it's on the cool side. Temperatures are in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees. Here in Madison, we're at 51. But you can see these showers coming in from the southwest. They keep weakening as they push through the Madison area because the air is a little bit drier to our north and east. It's a little more humid to the south and west, and those showers are holding together a little better there. And you can also see some thunderstorms. So by this afternoon, can't rule out some flashes of lightning and rumbles of thunder. As we look at our forecast for this morning, look for showers to develop. Temperatures climbing to around 53 by lunchtime, and this afternoon look for a high of 58 degrees. It'll be cloudy and breezy with showers and perhaps a few isolated thunderstorms. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, things pretty quiet on the Beltline still. Traffic moving pretty well in both directions. The DOT camera looks like it just popped off there. But right now, not seeing any major delays around Camp Randall Stadium. That includes Regent Street, Monroe Street. Every once in a while, we see the traffic pick up. Also, University Avenue. Otherwise, look for about a 14-minute commute either way on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate. And the interstates coming into Madison, all in pretty good shape. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
Thanks so much, Gary. October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. Throughout the month, we are celebrating the abilities and accomplishments of those who live with it. This morning, Jamie Perez introduces us to a spunky 29-year-old Wisconsin woman going above and beyond to change the way the world sees people who live with Down syndrome, pushing not just for awareness, but acceptance.
Hi, I am Danielle So.
Everyone, I'd like you to meet one of the spunkiest 29-year-olds I've ever had the pleasure of interviewing.
I am so excited to be on your channel.
And we are so excited to have you. Let me tell you about Danielle. She lights up any room she's in. She includes everyone. But most importantly, she's making the world a better place.
I am so funny.
And she's funny. Now, Danielle knows she has special needs, but doesn't let it stop her from doing some amazing things.
I don't let Down syndrome define me. It is how God made me.
Danielle is more active than most of us probably are. She's a dancer, a cheerleader, a pageant queen, the winner of the Special Olympics competitions. She water skis, and she loves people.
I like to spend time with my friends, and I love texting a lot.
Don't we all? Danielle seems to have found her purpose in life, bringing happiness to everyone around her, whether she knows them or not. She just wants everyone
to be all happy.
Yes, we all need that, don't we? Danielle's mom, Sean, said having Danielle as a daughter is a journey she never planned.
You never know what you're gonna get.
But throughout her 29 years of being by Danielle's side through her adventures, she sees the difference her daughter makes on everyone, including her.
It makes me get out of my comfort zone. It makes me go and talk to different people.
Danielle knows she can do anything she sets her mind to, and she goes out of her way to make sure others know that too.
We are all different.
Danielle doesn't see our differences, though. She just sees people for people. And her confidence and self-acceptance is something we could all use a little more of.
She was telling me that people were staring at her when she was young, and I went, well, you're beautiful. And so now people come up and they said, "You're beautiful." She goes, "Yeah, I know."
We're sharing Danielle's story because she wants the world to know that people with Down syndrome are just like us.
You are standing in front of a big audience of people. What's one message that you want everybody to know?
Text.
And because she really wants people to text her. And for those whose lives have been touched by someone who has Down syndrome.
See the people first and include them in small things, large things. She just doesn't want to be in a group with special needs. She wants to be out there in the community.
Even beyond our own community, we could all be a little bit more like Danielle. In Madison, Jamie Perez.
Inclusion helps everybody.
News 3 Now.
To follow Danielle's journey, we have a link to her Facebook page on our website. She often posts about her accomplishments and the new adventures she pursues. Best of luck to her. What a special girl. The Avalon Theater is one of many in the Milwaukee area with extra security for the Joker's opening weekend in theaters. Joker centers around a sympathetic character who's struggling emotionally and finds answers in violence. The upgraded safety measures were recommended by a National Theater Association as authorities worry someone could view the movie through a personal lens. Threats on social media have allegedly been traced to extremists called incels. Reaction to the new film has been mixed, with some comfortable seeing the movie while others are concerned for their safety.
I'm kind of worried about it because it seems like a very good movie and people are trying to ruin the movie by like talking bad stuff about it.
While I don't think anything is going to happen, I feel like the culture that we live in right now and some of the issues that we've been having, I can understand why the theaters would want to take those precautions.
Some types of restrictions theaters are placing on people are restricting the types of bags allowed in theaters, discouraging people from wearing masks. Back in 2012, a man killed 12 and injured 70 others during a mass shooting at a midnight premiere of The Dark Knight Rises in Aurora, Colorado. You probably noticed by now Keely is off this morning. That's because she's getting some sleep after a big night at the Geo's Garden annual fundraising gala. The local nonprofit offers therapeutic respite care to parents with special needs kids. The money raised goes towards providing professional care to children while giving their parents some well-deserved time off. Our own Charlotte DeLeste is one of the founders of Geo's Garden, named after her son, and she continues to do a lot of good for our community. So thank you to everyone involved. Well, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, we've got you covered. Besides the Badgers game, of course, there's a celebration of nature, one of the greatest bands of all time being honored too. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 Now this morning.
Time now is 8:41. We have some showers moving in from the west, so if you're going to the Badger game, be prepared for some rain. Most of the precipitation pretty light. The first batch has kind of been weakening as it pushes through Madison, but you can see farther out to the west there are some thunderstorms. But we may have a little bit of a break over the next couple of hours before the next batch arrives, probably just in time for the game. Right now, temperatures range from the upper 40s to the lower 50s. Here in Madison, we're at 51. Dew-point temperatures are starting to climb, so that will allow the rain to reach the ground a little bit better. And winds are starting to pick up out of the south and southeast around 15 miles per hour. Temperatures will climb to the upper 50s by late this afternoon after the Badger game, and then drop into the lower 50s this evening as showers come to an end. We should see a dry day tomorrow. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Thank you so much, Gary. It's the weekend here in the 608, and here's a few things that are happening around town. The Nature Center is hosting a Pipers in the Prairie and Festival Fire tonight, which celebrates a few things. First, this year is the 25th anniversary of the Aldo Leopold Nature Center and its environmental education programs. Second, the event is an opportunity to show off the recently remodeled Discovery wing of the building. And third, the center is unveiling the new Aldo Leopold Nature Preschool. From 4:30 until 8, drinks, orders, and desserts will be served. There will also be live music and an Irish dancing demonstration. You can get your Beatles fix just in time for the band's 50th anniversary of Abbey Road. For several years now, the Madison-based band Get Back Wisconsin has been performing faithful live full performances of every album by the band. And for this latest anniversary, they're playing the entire Beatles album in concert tonight at the Barrymore. Abbey Road includes the songs Come Together and Here Comes the Sun, so you won't want to miss hearing them surrounded by hundreds of fellow Beatles fans. And it's another early morning for tailgaters this weekend. The Badgers are getting ready to take on Kent State at Camp Randall. Undefeated Wisconsin is hoping to keep the momentum going at 11 a.m. and 2.5 hours before the game. Happening right now, you can wake up with the marching band and fellow fans at the Badger Bash. That's held at Union South, just a couple blocks from the stadium. And as always, be sure to pick up a copy of Madison Magazine for all the best happening in and around the Madison area. Time now 8:43. You're looking live over the Capitol. Gary will be back with your full forecast. That's next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture right here on TV and help celebrate their birthday with them.
Look who
Well, we've had a couple of batches of showers move through the Madison area. So far, they've been pretty light and spotty, and there are a few more breaks out to the west before the more concentrated areas of rain move in by late this morning and early this afternoon, of course, just in time for the Badger game. The football forecast calls for a wet one. Look for showers at kickoff, temperature about 52, about 55 at halftime, and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm toward the end of the game or after the game, with temperatures climbing to the upper 50s by late this afternoon. You can see on Doppler track some light showers moving through the Madison area, but farther out to the west, the rain is more concentrated. There are some flashes of lightning showing up, so we expect the possibility for a thunderstorm later this afternoon. Computer model forecast show about a ½ inch of rain through southern Wisconsin, maybe some isolated higher amounts in an area that gets a thunderstorm. The live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, there's actually been a little sunshine in the far eastern horizon, but the clouds have been coming in from the west, so that sunshine will be gone before too long. 51 is the current temperature. Skies are mostly cloudy at the airport. Winds are out of the southeast at 15 miles per hour. Temperatures are in the 40s to low 50s. It's kind of a cool fall day today with plenty of clouds. But the good news is once these showers and thunderstorms move through, there's a slot of dry air that's following in along the jet stream, and that will actually clear out the skies later on tonight and tomorrow, bringing sunshine, allowing temperatures to actually get back into the lower 60s. These showers are actually well out ahead of the cold front, which is pushing through the eastern Dakotas and eastern Nebraska, but the temperature contrast is not that great along the front. Even behind the front, temperatures are still only just a few degrees cooler than they are ahead of it. But ahead of the front, we're seeing some of that moisture start to work its way northward, with dew point temperatures into the 50s as far north as southwestern Minnesota. But you can see these showers, isolated thunderstorms will move through this afternoon and this evening, and then skies will clear out overnight. We should see plenty of sunshine for tomorrow. High temperatures will probably make it into the lower 60s, and it looks like we have a couple nice days of weather behind that. Large area of high pressure will build in. The skies will be generally sunny, and we'll see temperatures in the upper 50s to the middle 60s through Wednesday before the next batch of showers and thunderstorms arrives later Thursday into Thursday night, and then is followed by cooler weather for the end of next week. Temperatures climbing to around 53 by lunchtime. Winds out of the south to 10 to 20 miles per hour, and showers will be developing this afternoon. Breezy with showers and a few isolated thunderstorms. High temperature at 58 degrees. For tonight, look for mostly cloudy skies. Showers will end this evening, then it'll turn partly cloudy overnight. Low temperature dropping to 46. And for tomorrow, look for a partly sunny and breezy day, but not as cool. Our high temperature topping out at 61. As we check out the future track forecast, you can see the showers and isolated thunderstorms coming through this afternoon, but they should end this evening, and by early tomorrow morning, notice how skies clear out and temperatures drop into the middle 40s. For tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. Winds will be kind of brisk out of the west and southwest, but high temperatures should still reach the lower 60s. And those rainfall amounts generally around a ½ inch. There could be a spot or two that sees an inch or a little bit more if you get caught underneath a heavier thunderstorm. The 7 to 10 day forecast, again, dry weather expected Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll take as many dry days as we can get. Shower and thunderstorm chances then move in for Thursday afternoon, and a strong cold front will move through early Friday morning. A high of 55 early in the day with falling temperatures, and by Friday night and Saturday night of next week, we could be looking at lows in the upper 30s, the possibility for some patchy frost. Next week, it'll be a cool one. Highs upper 40s on Saturday and low 50s on Sunday, and then to the mid 50s by Monday the following week. There's Lucy and Stella in New Glarus, 56 degrees their temperature at 3 p.m. Look for some scattered showers there. Keep the umbrella handy when you take the dogs out.
Hope their mom and dad owns an umbrella.
I think so. I hope so.
Thanks, Gary.
Sure.
Well, be sure to stick with News 3 Now all day long, and then tomorrow morning, a fun food-filled show. We're checking out Bar Corallini, Madison's newest Italian restaurant, and we're kicking off the first Sunday of October with an easy recipe for pumpkin cookies. But first, here comes the sun and a new music video. We're celebrating 50 years of one of the Beatles' biggest and last hits with a behind-the-scenes look at the making of that song. We'll be right back. Finally this morning, 50 years after its original release, there's a new music video out for Here Comes the Sun, the Beatles classic from Abbey Road. It includes studio sessions the public has never heard until now. Charlie D'Agata has the story of the Beatles' final act as a foursome.
The opening track sets the tone for what would become the Beatles' swan song. Come together right now, over me. The last time they would come together to record an album, but rather than the last gasps of a dying band, John, Paul, George, and Ringo worked even harder knowing it was their last chance, says record producer Giles Martin.
I mean, this is a band at their pinnacle.
You know, I played Come Together, the song Come Together, to both Ringo and Paul here at Abbey Road. And one thing they said is, we were really good this day. Abbey Road is the sound of a band at the top of their game, playing together.
He's now remastered that Abbey Road sound for a new release to mark the 50th anniversary. It's a sound that runs through his veins. His father, George Martin, was the record producer who helped launch the Fab Four to the global stage from right here in this studio.
The Beatles and that album helped make Abbey Road one of the most famous studios in the world. But Paul McCartney has said when they first started recording here, they weren't even allowed in the front door and had to use a side entrance.
The remastered tracks reveal a bit of the banter behind the scenes.
Well, we'll try it once more, very loud, and then if we don't get it, we'll try it quiet like it might do it the other way.
Insight into a band that was in harmony, not acrimony, and the album gave rise to another songwriting talent.
Here comes the sun.
Turns out behind the Lennon-McCartney powerhouse songwriting team, George Harrison could write a tune too.
George gave us Here Comes the Sun, the most popular Beatles song right now in the universe, and then Something, one of the most beautiful songs ever written.
Something in the way she moves.
And he suddenly hit this rich vein. I mean, he was younger than the other two, so I guess he had to catch up. But yeah, I mean, imagine having John Lennon in a band, but then adding Paul McCartney in a band, and then George Harrison in a band. I mean, they weren't short of songs. You know, that's the Beatles.
A glut of talent at the top of their game and about to end it all as a band.
The Beatles' life was cut short by themselves, but it was like the Abbey Road is that. It's like the light was shining and then was switched off by the band because they never made any more records. But the record they left us with is one of the best records they made. And that's, I think, why Abbey Road is so iconic.
And why it's more apparent, even 50 years on, that Abbey Road was streets ahead of its time. Charlie D'Agata, London.
You said your favorite Beatles song was All My Lovin'?
All My Lovin', yeah. That would probably be my best. So.
That's a good one, but we're not loving this forecast.
No, we got rain on the way. You can see that on Doppler track. The first batches of showers have been weakening as they push through, but the later batches will hold together better, and there could even be a thunderstorm. Temperatures right now, upper 40s to the lower 50s. Temperatures today topping out in the upper 50s, below 60s for tomorrow. In fact, dry weather from tomorrow through Wednesday. Some thunderstorms late Thursday of next week, and then cool weather for next weekend. Maybe some patchy frost by Friday and Saturday night.
So you want to grab an umbrella if you're headed to the farmer's market, a poncho if you're headed to the game. Stay dry. Go Wisconsin. We'll see you tomorrow.